Welcome to the Manifest with Ease podcast. I'm Vanessa Jaden, certified mindset and manifestation coach, and I'm here to help you manifest your dream life effortlessly. This podcast is all about making manifestation simple and fun. Each week, I'll share powerful tips and aligned strategies to help you attract abundance, success, and joy into your life. Get ready to unlock your magic and step into the life you've always dreamed of. No hustle required. Let's dive into today's episode of Manifest with Ease. Today we are talking about having a mid-year reset, and this is so important in our manifestation process because if we don't look at where we've come from, if we don't look at the things that have worked and that hasn't worked and release some of those things, then going forward becomes hard because it's like we're taking all this extra baggage with us. And sometimes that baggage looks like maybe I'm not doing enough, or maybe I haven't gotten far enough. But when you start looking back and you start looking at those small wins along the way, then you can see how far you have actually come. So last week I did a full mid-year manifestation challenge over on Instagram, and I've posted the replays on my socials and things like that. And I created an absolutely fantastic planner that you can literally use any time of the year. So if you want to still sign up for that, there's still time to sign up and you can get all the replays. You'll get the planner. The planner was fantastic because in the planner I have included a little bit of educational pieces. There's journal prompts, there's place for you to put notes, and then there's techniques to take you through doing a full reset and a full setting new manifestations for the rest of the year, or at any point in time when you're looking at this and you want to sign up for that, your manifestations for the next 6 months. So today let's look at just this whole thing around manifestation. And manifestation is like a life system. And so one of the things that I do, I have a weekly, what I call a weekly CEO wealth date. And this is literally on a week-to-week basis. I go back and I see, okay, what has worked this week? I go and I do all my accounting. So I will put in my income, my expenses, I'll update my accounting sheet. So this isn't a big headache or something that I have to do at the end of the year and try and find everything. Part of my weekly wealth date is also looking at just wealth in general. What is it that I want to manifest? So I'm not specifically just talking about money, but wealth is not just about receiving, and it's not just about the money, but it's also about giving. So where have I been wealthy in helping other people? Where have I been wealthy in making a difference in other people's lives? So I have my weekly check-in that I do, and then also part of my weekly check-in is planning the week after. So I will look and I will say, okay, I'll follow my manifestation process. And I will say, okay, what is it that I want to manifest in the next week? And then I have monthly planning where I do exactly the same. I'll look at throughout the month, where have we been? What are my numbers like? How far have I come to the things that I want to manifest? And obviously focusing on the gratitude of the things that I have already manifested, celebrating those little wins, and then going forward and doing a monthly plan. And I do that quarterly, and every 6 months I always do these check-ins because I think it is so important to know where we have gone. Because sometimes we can feel like we failed maybe in a certain area. But when we reframe that failure and we say, okay, everything is feedback, there is no failure, it's only feedback. And when I go back and I look at it and I might say, okay, well, I feel like I've really failed in this area, and you can get yourself into such a twist in your headspace and just chaos and overwhelm and overthinking and over processing. But if you go back and you look at the things and you say, okay, well, how can I do this better? How can I, even if just 1%, how can I improve on this just a little bit? And in looking back, we also have the opportunity of saying, okay, well, what is the things that I enjoyed that I have done in the last 6 months? What are the things that really lit me up? whether that's in your business, in your career, or just in your home life, in your love life, in relationships, whatever it is. What are the things that have really lit me up? And how can I take those things and do more of that going forward? And also looking at, okay, well, what are the things that actually didn't light me up? How can I take those things either completely out of my life? Sometimes we can do that, but sometimes we actually just have to reframe certain things because we can't take them out of our life. Like if I can use something like maybe you have to wake up a certain time of day because you need to step into your business at that time, or you need to step into your job at that time, or you need to be taking kids to school, or whatever it is. In terms of those things, maybe you can't actually change it, but you can reframe it by starting to say, well, you know what? I get to wake up at this time to step into my business because I have this fantastic business. I can choose my own freedom, or I'm working towards the freedom that I want. I get to wake up at a certain time and do the school runs. I get to wake up and go to a job because I have a job. And if you start reframing those things that don't really light you up with more gratitude, then before you know it, you will find that those things aren't hard anymore. But definitely the things that are no longer serving you, the things that you find don't light you up, absolutely let go of those things. And one of the things in the Mid-Year Manifestation Planner, we did the first day was all about reflecting and releasing. So I did a mini cord cutting ritual, and it was just how to let go of things, let go of energetic ties, maybe some patterns that you find yourself playing over and over. Maybe there's some emotions that no longer serve you, or maybe it's even people that you might still be bonded to, and you can literally cut those bonds, release those things. And so yeah, if you don't watch the replay, this specific technique is also in the Manifestation Planner. So once we've let go of these things that no longer serve us, and we then have this almost fresh space, this clean space where we can look at, okay, well, what is it that we want to manifest for the next 6 months? What is it that we want to bring into our lives? What is it that we want to make ourselves available to receive? So a big part about that is to set powerful intentions on what is it that you want, not just this wishful thinking of, oh, you know, I'd really like to start my own business, or I'd really like to get ahead in my job, or I'd really like to lose the weight, or whatever it is that I would really like to, or the someday, the one day that's going to happen. It kind of just leaves it hanging and nothing happens with it. So by setting clear intentions, and that's where working with either your journal or this manifestation planner, where I have put in space where you can write down specifically 3 manifestations that you want to manifest for the next 6 months. It is so much easier when we are focusing just on 3 things than on 10 things that you want to manifest. And you might look at, maybe there is 10 things that you would like to manifest by the end of the year, but could you group those things into specific areas? In the challenge, I spoke about the soulful success circle. So that is 3 key areas in our life. It's giving, receiving, and growing. So can you take those manifestations that you want and put them into these 3 groups, and then focus on 3 very, very clear things that you would like to manifest for the rest of the year? And then when you write these things down that you want to manifest, I'd love for you to do a check-in and really tune into these manifestations, because sometimes we pick things that we think are the right things to manifest. We think these are the right goals that we should go after, because maybe those are societal goals. Maybe those are things that you think, okay, I can manifest this and still feel safe. So maybe there's a safety issue when it comes to choosing your manifestations. maybe when you look at your manifestations, you're thinking of, yes, I want to manifest this. And then in your mind, you're hearing this but. So it's so important that when we write out our manifestations, we really make sure that they are in alignment with what we want. And when we have those buts come up, and when we have those where we feel, okay, this is a safe option, that might not be the right manifestations for you, because what is happening is they are keeping you small. They are keeping you in a limited space. And the key is to break through those things. So that's where subconscious reprogramming is so important. I cannot stress that enough, because we want to think big. We want to manifest our dreams. We want to step out of our comfort zone, step out of that place that feels safe right now. And sometimes that safety is because you might have experienced something traumatic in your life, whether it's your childhood, adult life, teenager, whenever it was, and that is still in your body trying to keep you safe. So it's very important to do something around nervous system regulation so that you can let go of that, so that you can feel safe in your body while you are manifesting your big dreams. And I have found, for me personally, NLP and EFT have been extremely powerful in breaking through that and just resetting my nervous system. And then in terms of working on our subconscious programming, in the planner I have put in journal prompts for every different step that you're going to take in terms of putting your manifestations for the next 6 months. And journaling is so powerful because it helps us to uncover the things that are blocking us. And sometimes you do need to work with a coach, because we have blind spots and we have things that we might not see because everything's happening at a subconscious level. So that's where our mind is keeping us safe, or where our body is trying to keep us safe. We might not actually be able to see it. But when you're working with a coach, because a coach is trained to specifically see to read between the lines, to see and to notice these things, they can help you to move forward and not just uncover the things that are blocking you, but also to release the things that are blocking you. So with that said, also, if you are interested in doing some coaching with me, I have opened up a few spots for the rest of the year, and I'm actually doing a 6-month program where you can sign up for 6 months, and I will guide you and help you to manifest those things that you want for the next 6 months, as well as uncover and release things that are keeping you stuck. So if that's something you're interested in, you can just go to the link and we can have a chat to see if this actually is something for you, or if I am the right coach for you, because we have to know that we can work well together also. Other kind of tools that you can use is to embody already having that manifestation. So when you look at, okay, it is the 31st of December and you have manifested those things that you have said now that you would like to have, how does it feel? Like, who is she and how does she show up now that she has that? Because you see, your future self in 6 months' time, she's already inside of you. And she's like, yes, I'm ready to get out. Let me out. Let me out. I want to get out and I want to manifest and I want to live my dreams. But because we have these blocks, sometimes it's a little bit more difficult for it to come out. But when you focus on who she is, and bring her into the now. So 31st of December, how does she dress? How does she walk? How does she talk? What are the things that she's doing? What does her morning rituals look like? What is she eating? Looking at all of those things and saying, okay, well, how can I apply that to my life right now? How can I embody being her right now? When we step into that, it is so much easier for us to change habits. If you struggle to, let's say, be visible in your business, when you feel like, oh yeah, I don't know, I'm not sure what I need to say, or I don't like my voice, I don't like getting on the camera, whatever it is that's holding you and keeping you small. When you look at your future self and she's doing all of these things, and you bring that energy and that power into you now, it will be so much easier to break through the limiting beliefs and to create new habits. If she is healthy and likes to do exercise and likes to eat good food, then instead of you trying to, can't eat this, I have to exercise, I have to do this, and where it's hard, when you embody her, those things actually become easy because you are a healthy type of person. So working on your identity is so important when it comes to manifesting what it is that we want. And then strategy is very important too, because you need to look at, okay, well, these are the things that I need to manifest, but then actually breaking it down into, okay, well, if this is what I want to manifest, what are some of the steps that need to be taken? I like to say there are controlled manifestations and then there are manifestations that are not controlled. So what I mean by this is a controlled manifestation is something that you have control over. So there is very specific steps that you can take in order to manifest what it is that you want. So let's take, for instance, if you want to lose the weight, because this is just the easiest example there is. So then you know there are certain steps to take, right? But let's say, for instance, you want to manifest the lotto. Let's say that. Okay, so in manifesting the lotto, there is maybe you can take the step of, now when I'm saying taking steps, I don't mean the manifestation steps as per se where you're visualizing and things like that. I'm talking about tangible steps. So that would be like, I need to go buy a lotto ticket, right? So that would be like the step that you have to take, and then you kind of have to release it, and that is where you have no control over whether you're actually going to win the lotto or not. Whereas if you take the steps to lose the weight, then at the end of the day, your result is going to be losing the weight because you followed very specific steps. So when you look at these manifestations that you have for the rest of the year, what are the steps that you need to take, or the steps that you need to release and not actually take any, but still following that manifestation process? And then breaking that down into saying, okay, well, this is what I want to manifest. These are the steps that I need to kind of take, and then breaking it down into a 6-month map and saying, okay, over the next 6 months, at what point do I need to take these steps? If you're planning a holiday for, let's say, September, and it is now July, well, you might want to now start looking at the tickets and things like that. But only in August you want to start looking at, okay, well, I would like to go to different restaurants and eat at different places. So where is that? You don't have to do everything in the 1 month. So breaking down your steps into the different months of your manifestation helps you to get clear on focusing on the things that you have to do now, not necessarily focusing on the things that are coming ahead of time, because otherwise we can just get ourselves overwhelmed trying to do everything at the same time. And then from looking at those different months, then taking and saying, okay, in July, I have put these are the steps that I need to follow. Now, how can I break that down in the weeks of July? So then you will say, okay, in week 1, I'll focus on this. Week 1, I'll focus on this. Week 3, week 4, so on. So what happens then is when you come to your manifestation, or maybe it's your morning ritual, whatever it is, you are only focusing on that small step, not trying to do everything all at once. So yeah, that is a very broad way of looking at just reflecting on what has been for the last 6 months, maybe tuning in back into what was your New Year's goals, what was the things that you want to manifest for 2025, and how far are you, or how close are you to that? What do you need to release? What doesn't serve you anymore? And then just looking at, okay, well, what is it that I want? Reflecting on, okay, the next 6 months, what am I going to focus on? Breaking that down into small little chunks, and then very, very important is to make space and time to do the mindset work, to do the energetic work, to do the nervous system regulation work, because that is the biggest part of the process. That is where you're going to have the majority of your wins. That's where things are just going to happen. That's when you're going to get that inspired action. Like if we take the lotto, for instance, if that's your manifestation, then maybe what's going to happen is that you are going to be sitting and maybe you're meditating or you're journaling or you've just gone for a walk and you're listening to your favorite music that just puts you in a different state. Then all of a sudden you think, I have to go to this place and I have to go and buy a lotto ticket. And you're the winner, right? That's taking inspired action. But it's only when we turn inward and when we make space that inspired action, those divine downloads can come to us. So I want to encourage you to go and just take some time, even if it's just an hour, go sit in a coffee shop or something and just look at where you've come from. Where is it that you want to go? If you want to follow the challenge, it's still available. I'm going to leave it up so it will stay available. The planner is such a helpful tool. I am actually using the planner for myself this year because the way that I've created it, it covers every single area and it's just so helpful. So with that being said, the link to sign up is vanessajaden.com/mid-year. You can get it there. I'll leave it in the notes below also. And yes, so happy manifesting. I love to hear some of the goals and some of the things that you're having. You can come over to my socials, either at TikTok or on Instagram, and tag me if you want to in your things. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and I'm happy to answer any of your questions, and I'm here to help you manifest your dreams. So remember to embody, to believe and manifest. See you next week.